Kind of like our intro.
Yeah, because we don't have intro music, unfortunately. Because every time we try to use music, our whole thing gets shut down. Because, you know, God forbid we use a song from the 80s to have a intro.
That's why I just sang Fix It.
It doesn't make it better because you can't sing that well.
I know I can't sing well.
Neither can I. I'm not by any way, means, shape, or form saying that I can sing.
Don't we live in a world where we're supposed to do what we want, what makes us happy?
Not if it invites.
So
not if it puts you in jail for indictment or
Well,
indictment
can't put me in
fraud
jail.
and wire charges and
For
stuff.
fraud, unless my name is Milli Vanilli.
They didn't even go to jail.
They did
And
not.
they made millions of dollars
Yeah, they
singing
did.
that. Girl, you know it's true.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
All right. Here we are. City Talk Fall River. Do you read the Washington Post at all, Nikki?
Sometimes.
So, since 2016, Washington Post is a pretty left-leaning organization. Just a little lefty. And not as bad as the Huffington Post. Huffington Post is like way out there. But Washington Post, for the most part, has been anti-Donald Trump. Would you say? Oh, I know. I know for a fact because I've seen it on their Twitter and all that stuff. So I will say that it's a pretty left-leaning organization, and they've been hyper-focused on the Donald Trump administration since 2016.
Oh, yeah.
Front news page, blah, blah, blah.
Most media outlets have, even before the election.
Front page news almost on a daily basis. That's why when they go up there and they're trying to interview Donald Trump, and he's like, that's fake news, you're fake news. But
I'd say it, but all them guys would twist it.
But
There's a but.
very recently, the Washington Post decided to go in a different direction on their front page a couple of days ago. And I do have the article here, actually.
Do you?
I do. One says, greedy young mayor stole from investors, feds say. Wow. And they put the term greedy
in quotation. I've noticed that in
that's not good.
Wait, because there's other articles that also have certain words in quotations.
But
$250 million is another one.
But the
that's in quotes.
The big article, the Morning Mix, the big article was elected mayor at 23 in struggling Fall River, Mass. Jazel Correa II had the makings of a rising star until Thursday.
Wait, no, you're supposed to hesitate and then go until Thursday.
Until Thursday. No, but all jokes aside, I'm not going to read the entire article, but it's on the Washington Post. And it tells
Just Google Jazel Correa and plenty of articles.
all kinds of stuff coming up, yeah.
National.
Google Fall
Plenty
River.
of national articles.
Google Fall River, and it's all coming up too. Not just Jazel. But, yeah. It has the makings of 2014 again. Feels like it, at least.
2014, what was it? 2000. It's just repetitive. It happens over and over again.
So you have, they go through the entire story as far as Jazel Correa. As we all know, at this point in time, if you're a Fall River citizen, you should know that Jazel Correa was arrested 2 days ago on the charges of fraud, along with many other charges. And it's all over the country now. I mean, everyone is talking about it, or everyone was talking about it, at least nationally.
Democratic mayor.
And now everyone's talking about it.
That supports Charlie Baker, Republican.
And now everyone's talking about it, definitely in Fall River. And just recently we had a notice come out that the city council will be voting on confidence in the mayor.
Oh. Nice.
So there's that going on. Yeah?
I thought they've already done that.
It's kind of been unofficial.
Established.
Yeah, it's been unofficial.
It's established.
It's been unofficial.
How about we take a guess?
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna go.
Confidence?
I'm gonna go 8-1, maybe 7-2 at the most.
I'm gonna go 9.
You're going? Yeah.
I'm gonna go 9.
Actually, that probably would be the. If I was a betting person, I think I'd go that. Yeah. Because even Joe Camara is the only guy that I would think if there is a no, it would be him.
Yep.
But I think just looking at we're gonna go through the document. We're gonna go through the indictment. I have the indictment in front of me. It's a distraction, and you can vote no confidence without having evidence. You can vote no confidence without having the person in jail right now.
No confidence doesn't do anything.
Right.
It's
Currently, the mayor was arrested and he's out on bail.
Right.
That's pretty significant in the city because they've been investigating this for months, and they must have had something in their pocket to put cuffs on him. I'm just throwing it out there.
A bunch of politicians.
Perhaps. Who knows? But even you mentioned it. You mentioned his name. Charlie Baker has come out with an emailed statement.
I believe this is a Republican Democrat. It's one more way to divide.
An emailed statement that he also feels that the mayor should step down from office as well.
Although hasn't stated it publicly.
Did not state it publicly. Mm-hmm. He stated it through his spokesperson
in an email.
But he didn't come out.
Reporter asking questions.
Right. He didn't come out. He didn't come out publicly.
There's not even a written statement that has been released.
Just an email from the spokesperson.
That's the reporter who was asking questions.
Right. So there's really, I think some people, because they've associated with him, because they have endorsed him, as a matter of fact, Charlie Baker's endorsement for Jason Correa has now been wiped off his website.
Scrubbed.
Yeah. So, it gives you, when you say scrubbed, it gives that impression that he was like,
no, they really, that's
getting
why I like
in there
using
and getting
it.
out of there. Yeah.
That's why I like using it. He hasn't said anything publicly.
Right.
But they scrubbed him from everything online, everything written.
Yes. The supporters of Jason and the naysayers of Jason have come out in full force on both sides.
Divide.
Yours truly decided to post a couple of things on Facebook. When I saw it in the news, I said on my wall, so, anything interesting going on in Fall River today? Right? Had a lot of people respond in their own direction. I personally do believe innocent until proven guilty at all times. I felt that with the Kavanaugh situation.
Absolutely.
Last week when we were talking about Kavanaugh, I did not say Kavanaugh was guilty or innocent or one way or the other. I had people who were supporting Kavanaugh who really are supporting Trump, that justice prevailed, that he was proven innocent.
Justice? There was no court hearing. There was no.
The president himself said he was proven innocent.
Same thing.
Right. And you're not proven innocent unless you have an investigation. You're not proven innocent until you have
a court of law.
Right. You have your day in court. That's when you're, quote, proven innocent. Having a partisan group of people.
Can I just say something?
Yeah,
it's innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Not guilty until proven innocent.
True.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Same with Flanagan.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
But I never got involved in the argument of Flanagan should go to jail.
I did.
I got into the argument of Flanagan should be recalled. Because recall and jail are two different things. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of Flanagan supporters who are coming out of the woodwork saying, look what's going on now. Look what's going on now.
Are we really comparing threatening someone's life with a weapon to screwing over investors?
I'm not.
Is that the comparison people are trying to make?
I'm not.
Because I hope not. I hope people are not saying that screwing over an investor is equal to threatening someone's life with a gun.
And Nikki, let's throw out there, if we're going to bring the Flanagan conversation to the table, let's throw out there, and the article is still out there. You can still read it. I shared it the other day. Will Flanagan, Paul DeSilva, who was a city councilor at the time, and Flanagan's chief of staff, O'Neill Souza, right?
Ann
O'Neill Souza. Mm-hmm. They all had text messages. There was evidence of these text messages going around between the three of them, and they were all in cahoots to try to find out information on an adversary. Adversary's name was Jordan Sylvia, who if you're listening to our podcast, I'm sure you either are friends with him or know him or have been friends with him in the past. When it came to all of that, they were looking for information on Jordan's wife.
Who at the time was
his girlfriend. Right. A fiance, actually. And they were all trying to find information on her because at the time, Paul DeSilva worked at the hospital and had computer access to information. So please, do not look at this situation with Jason Correa as a vindication of innocence for the old mayor, the recalled mayor, Will Flanagan, because the dirt is spread everywhere. It doesn't, the dirt thrown in somebody else's direction doesn't clean off the dirt of another direction. It doesn't do that.
Especially as Leo is sitting on the city council currently.
Leo Pelletier, it's a very interesting situation there. Very interesting. What was one of the first things, one of the first, quote, scandals of Jazel Correa when he became the mayor? What was one of the very first scandals that happened that was all in the paper and people were all in up arms? When he took a photo at the voting booth and his
ballot.
His ballot was shown and it showed that he voted for Leo Pelletier.
Yeah.
And people were pointing this out and they were all up in arms and they were all upset. And then the tide turned in Leo's favor a little bit. Mm-hmm. As Jazel became more popular, other people started even saying it to me, Leo's not that bad. No, Leo, we like Leo. You like Leo.
I love Leo.
Right.
B team. Don't ever confuse my like for Leo,
right,
meaning that I want him to be a city councilor.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And that's where I think things get twisted in the city.
But there were people out there because Leo does Leo. If Leo looks at the tide and he sways with the tide.
Yeah.
If the mayor's popular, that's my guy.
Of course.
If the mayor's not popular, that is no longer my guy. Here comes the bus.
Yeah, of course.
Leo drove a bus for the past 2 years. He has no problem running you over with the bus.
Not at all.
And he completely.
He'll hold you there.
Yeah. He doesn't have to try hard. So, and you know, you have he's just a politician, but it was a very interesting thing to see Leo Pelletier say, "Oh, I think the mayor should step down. It's the right thing to do."
It was comical.
It's the right thing to do. Right. And I'm thinking, how could he say that when he also had allegations at him and he continued, he had bring back Leo.
Found guilty?
Yeah. He had bring back Leo.
I could be wrong. But...
He had bring back Leo on his signs. Mm-hmm. And you know what? The people voted him back in. You get the government, you pay. You get the government, you elect.
Right.
So if you want people who have been convicted of crimes, who have been indicted of crimes, who have been found not credible by their investigations, that's Flanagan. If you want people with these backgrounds as your elected officials, then you can't complain when
absolutely
right.
Absolutely.
When the city looks like they took their trash barrels and spread it all over the city, and you have potholes everywhere, and you have fat budgets in this area but low budgets in this area, and this, that, and the other. You cannot complain about your government if you are standing aside and not voting, or you are voting for people who you know have dirt on them. It's bottom line. I'm sorry. I'm kind of doing a tangent today. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
I apologize,
okay.
Nikki.
I'm enjoying it.
I got a little energy today.
I also just want to say I am in no way comparing Leo's gambling catastrophe.
Just if you have dirt on you can't throw dirt at somebody else.
To Will Flanagan's, right. Because again, the whole Flanagan thing is in a whole other category.
But so if you have dirt on you, legal dirt,
yeah,
we've all made mistakes. People make mistakes all the time.
Well, I hate the resign thing. Like I can understand, like I said to you earlier, had he been, if this was a sexual assault allegation, or if he was charged with stealing from the city itself, taking the taxpayers, then I would be behind anybody who's telling him to step down. That I can see. But if this is personal, this is his personal business, right? And like I chuckled when they said he changed the way he did his tax returns.
Yes.
Okay, so does that mean that when he first found out he was under investigation, he found out that his tax returns weren't being filled in properly, so he then started filing them properly? Like, was that the case? Because if that's the case,
your indictment that we have here will probably answer some of these questions.
All right, so we can go.
So we have that here in front of us.
Because I did not read that yet.
But I just wanted to say, when I bring these three up in conversation, we're talking about Leo Pelletier, Jazel Correa, Will Flanagan. When we talk about these three situations, they're all different situations. Mm-hmm. One is heavier than the other. However, it's just interesting how the finger starts to get pointed, and it's very interesting how public opinion sways when their guy is, in the spotlight, when they have the popularity. Because a lot of people who were saying Flanagan deserves this and Flanagan deserves that in 2014, who jumped on Jayzel's bandwagon when he was elected, are now completely saying innocent until proven guilty, innocent until proven guilty, which is just not something that was being said a few years back. You know, so we have this. It's about 20 pages long. I'm gonna check if you notice. I don't know if you noticed that logo in the back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna post it on our Facebook page until I get permission from the person who gave it to me.
Yep.
Because I just think it's the courteous thing to do. But I will go through some of this. It goes through the overall scheme to defraud and false tax returns. So that's one of the big things.
That's not even written properly. It should say falsify tax returns. Overview of the scheme to defraud.
An overview of false tax returns. So it's all right. Scheme to defraud. We're not going to go into that one. The opening of Citizens account. So the Citizens account was the money was the account where the money was placed. So Jayzel apparently had access to this account. And I'm going through this very, very briefly. I'm not going to go through this whole entire thing because it's just too long. It'll take too long to go through. The indictment also goes through the Snow Owl investors. It describes everyone as investor number 1, 2, 3, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Investor 1. Like, come on. Like, that's what I mean.
So investor number 1 was an orthodontist in Massachusetts who had known Carrere since Carrere was in high school. So, you have that. We're going to go through this one here, and then we're going to hit the interesting parts that I found were notable. Carrere's theft of investor money. That's what it says here on the indictment at number 37. Carrere used number 38.
If he comes out innocent in this is going to kick his career into full.
He'll be untouchable.
Forward.
He'll be Buddy Cianci.
This should not all be publicized. This is what I mean.
Carrere used Snow Owl investor money as follows. Snow Owl, for anyone who's listening doesn't know, was the phone application that Apple. It was through the Apple software system that we could download on your Apple phone. And you could be connected to whatever's open in your local area and whoever's connected to the Snow Owl system. Carrere purchased tens of thousands of dollars of luxury items, including their Mercedes-Benz, the jewelry, and designer men's and women's clothing and shoes. Not sure what the women's clothing was for. Who?
Well, it says in one of the newspaper articles I read, it said a former girlfriend.
Carrere spent lavishly on extensive personal travel and entertainment, including tens of thousands of dollars on airfare, luxury hotels, restaurants, casinos, and everyone's favorite, and I swear to you, this is all I've been hearing the past 2.5 days, adult entertainment. Carrere used approximately 10,000...
Wait.
Yes, ma'am.
People are discussing this adult entertainment. Did they actually get the definition? Because I hope they did. I hope they really did.
I don't think anyone got the definition.
Oh, they're so stupid.
All right.
Go ahead.
Carrere used approximately $10,000 of investor money to pay down his personal student loan and to fund his own political campaigns. And see, that right there is where people are getting some things mixed up. They're saying that this didn't have anything to do with political money, because another thing I posted on my Facebook wall most recently was take donations, they said. Meaning, how people tell me to take donations all the time, and I keep on telling people that money and politics does not mix. Now, I've had people say that this has nothing to do with politic money. Read the indictment, number 38, section C. It says Carrere used approximately $10,000 of investor money to pay down his personal student loan and fund his own personal campaign. And again, this is an allegation. Evidence is going to have to be shown about this, so he is innocent until proven guilty. But we are seeing this indictment here, okay?
Okay. As the owner of the app, isn't he entitled to make money from that app? So I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm saying, as me, just being a resident, looking at this information, being the creator of the app, He's in it to make money, right? That's what most people create businesses for, is to make money.
Nikki,
if he's making money,
I will repeat it. It says used investor money, not profits.
But how do they know the difference?
They must have documentation as to whether or not the money was a profit or an investment. Okay. Yeah, okay. My guess.
Hopefully they do.
This is my.
That should be part of evidence then if he's found guilty.
Well, then this is a completely erroneous statement. Right. If he used $10,000 worth of profits and not $10,000 worth of investor money, but from what I understand, Snow Owl didn't make a whole lot of money.
Right.
So
okay.
Correa used investor money, and again, this is all under the document, theft of investor money. So section D, Correa used investor money to make charitable donations in his own name, having nothing to do with Snow Owl, and to fund his other business ventures. That's pretty serious.
Shitty.
Yes, very much so. So again, we're going to have to see.
But these are also allegations.
And we're going to keep on saying this. A person is innocent until proven guilty, but these are the allegations in the indictment. So some other things here. Let's see. The citizens' account records do not contain any regular salary payments to Correa.
Okay, that answered my question.
Nor do they contain any regular draws by or distributions to Correa. Okay. Instead, the records show that Correa took investor money directly out of the citizen's account whenever he needed it, racking up thousands of charges while the account was active. Correa also set up recurring payment schedules for, among other things, his student loan, car payments, and dating services, so that investor money was automatically debited for those personal purposes. In approximately October, it's so hard to read this with a straight face, 2016, the citizen's account, which incurred thousands of dollars overdraft fees, was closed with a negative balance.
Yeah, that's some bull.
To date, no Snow Owl investor has received any return or interest on this investment, and the business of Snow Owl is essentially worthless.
But I don't care about that, because when you're an investor, if somebody asks me to invest in their business, I invest knowing full well that I may not be making a penny off of that investment.
That is different from if there's evidence that their invested money was used otherwise.
Not really, because if I'm giving it to somebody. But that's just me. Right. I'm also not an investor.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people who invests all the time. So if somebody came to me, because I don't trust anybody right off the rip, I would, in my own head, I tell my own kids, if you lend somebody money, don't do it with the intent to get it back. Right. So I can't be in that frame of mind and then say, it's wrong.
If you invested, let's just throw a number out there. If you invested $5,000 into a business, and the person who took your $5,000 said, "You're going to get a return." Number one, because you wouldn't give me money if you weren't expecting a return, unless it was a donation and not an investment.
I just wouldn't believe them.
Right, but then you wouldn't give them an investment then.
Again, I'm going to go back to if I believed. Listen, if I believed in their product enough that I was willing to invest, that's it for me.
Right.
Again, I do not. I'm a broke girl. Okay. Right. I do not give up money very easily. So if I'm giving it to you, I'm not expecting it back. I never, and that's something.
But that's not an investment.
But that's how I'm going to look at the investment. Right. And then, like I tell my kids, if that person who's borrowing the money gives it back to you, great.
Right.
But if they don't, you never expected it back in the first place. Right. So that's how
So if I asked you for $5,000 for my college to finish up my college degree, right?
If I had it, I'd probably give it to you.
Right, and you gave it to me with the expectation that I was going to use this money. You literally are investing in my education.
Yep.
Right, but instead, I used the $5,000 at the strip club.
My bad.
Right.
My bad.
But all I'm saying is that your investment was the money that you gave me was not used for what you intended it for, right?
Again, I'll go back.
If you don't gripe about it, Nikki, if you don't gripe about it, that's your prerogative.
Right.
But you have a right to gripe about it. I have a right to apologize to you.
I do, but at the same time, just me, this is me speaking as a resident and as a voter.
Right.
I look at people who invest, and I say, okay, so, all right, like, we'll go back to one.
Rich Cavaceres called into our show back in 2015. I remember this conversation I had with him. He said that it's right to take donations from voters because they're investing in you. right? He said that. He said that they have the expectation. He actually called it they're buying a product, by the way, but that was ridiculous. But I'm gonna modify a little bit and say that when people give money to a politician, they are investing in them. They are expecting this politician to represent them a certain kind of way, and when they don't, the people who quote invested in that politician are going to want to see that return.
Getting arrested for it.
Agreed.
But that's where I think the investment thing, like I don't know a lot about
the legality of it.
The legalities behind investment.
Right.
All I know is for me, right? If one of my kids' friends and what was it, investor number one, it said in parentheses that it was his son's friend, that Jazel was his son's friend. So let me just say, my kid comes to me, my kid's got a lot of friends. Her friend comes to me and says, I'm gonna open this business and you're gonna get some money back and all of this stuff.
What's this business entail, Nikki?
I probably wouldn't even ask that.
I was going to use your creativity, but whatever.
I probably wouldn't even ask that. If I liked the friend and I thought that they deserved it, I would give it to them. But again, I wouldn't expect anything back in return. Even if they said, this business is gonna boom and I'm going to be able to pay you back. You can't anticipate
other investors
tenfold.
To have the same.
But that's where, isn't an investment a risk? The whole idea is it's a risk if you invest.
It's a risk if that person is using the money for the actual purpose of that.
I get all of that.
But he apparently did not use it to, matter of fact, I'm going to go back a little bit here.
Because being arrested
because the 38 section D of this indictment is killer to me. Correa used investor money to make charitable donations in his own name, having nothing to do with Snow Owl. He had an obligation to at least advertise that Snow Owl was investing in some of these charitable donations. That puts your name on the map. That puts your business on the map, right? He didn't even do that. He could have easily said Jazel Correa, who is Jazel Correa, and Snow Owl is donating to this. Even if he shared the limelight with the business, he was at least doing his part in advertising the business.
He pulled a Trump.
Whew. Right, when Trump goes to other people's rallies and he's like, he makes it about himself.
When Trump gives donations from the Trump organization, it's not really.
Oh, yeah.
It's not from him. It's not his money. It's other people donated money to the organization and then he donates
but if 38 Section D of this indictment is true, I mean, wow.
Yeah, it's not nice. I'm trying to be nice and not use the word. I would say it differently to him to his face. But
wow. I mean, like, man. All right. Anyway, I'm going through this. Let's see. Okay, number 40 is interesting too. Number 40 is also is in a new section of the indictment.
He only hit it from 3 of them. he didn't hide it from the rest.
I think 4 was in there too. All right. So Correa's concealment of the fraud. So that's number 40 of the indictment here. Correa concealed his theft of investor money in several ways. He concealed it from associates number 1, 2, and 3. I think there's associates and then there's investors.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. I just noticed that.
So there's associates 1, 2, and 3 by denying them access to the citizen's account and other financial records and by not telling them that he was using investor funds for himself. Correa concealed his theft of investor money from his then girlfriend, on whom he spent thousands of dollars, by falsely stating that the money Correa was spending on her came from his sale of Find It Networks for several $100,000s. Correa concealed his theft of investor funds from the Snow Owl investors, including investors 1, 2, 3, and 4, by providing falsely positive updates on the Snow Owl status and, as described more fully below, refusing to provide the company's financial records, which would have revealed his extensive personal use of investor funds.
Okay, now see, I have did they have, I would ask, did the investors or the associates, whoever they're referring to in that paragraph, do they have a contract with him, or did they just handle? Like, I don't know how this investment. You know what? That's honestly a good question. Do they have a contract? Because then, if he then said, okay, we have a contract. If he had a contract with them, and then all that was in writing, the promises and the return and all of that stuff. And even that, like if part of their agreement was that they had access to these records, then I would say he's going to be in a world of stuff. I'm going
to read on this indictment because they did actually talk about how when he started running for mayor, he didn't have the time to invest in Snow Owl as much as he wanted to, and so there was going to be someone else that was going to be in charge of handling it.
I mean, because we can't pretend he did talk about Snow Owl. It's all we heard about for a long time.
Right, and he did talk about it. I downloaded it to see if it was any good. But anyway,
and it wasn't.
It was really not. It was a very unfortunate.
No offense, but again, I would have noticed that right from. I would have downloaded the app before I invested.
I'm looking at this. I'm like, who would give?
Me too, which is why I said if you're handing over the money because it's your son's friend, are you handing it over just because you're a good guy and you believe in him, or are you really hoping there's a return?
I'm willing to bet you might be able to still find it in the App Store. Let's double check.
Oh my God! So what happens if we all download Snow Owl? What happens then?
Well, we're helping out some of these poor investors, I guess. I don't know. Let me see if I can get it.
Was Snow Owl, how did Snow Owl even make money? Because that was one of the things that I was confused.
Let's see. Snow, S-N-O. There we go, Snow.
It's one word.
It's like Snool.
A lot of gays.
Stop.
Still one of the greatest of all time.
Nope, Snow Owl's not in here anymore. Not in the App Store anymore, unfortunately.
It's defunct.
Yes, it's definitely defunct. All right, so Correa decides to run for mayor and neglects Snow Owl. That's the next segment in this indictment. And again, it's going to explain to you a question about who else had access to the accounts. Maybe, yeah. So not the contracts, but this. You would think that his charges would say that he was in violation of contract.
Yeah,
and if there's a civil suit against Jazel, then I imagine that's where you'll see that documentation.
The reason that I say I keep chuckling and stuff is because reality sets in. And even after what I'm reading, it kind of sounds like there are a few people who were friendly with him or his family, or had common friends involved.
Right.
He was in the app. They gave him the money, maybe thinking they could get a couple of bucks out of it.
Right.
But I don't think it was it doesn't seem to me like all of this. You know what I'm saying? It's almost, I don't know, it's far-fetched.
Correa decides to run for mayor and neglect Snow Owl. Despite repeatedly assuring his investors that he would use his best efforts to ensure Snow Owl's success, Correa was not only diverting investor funds to himself, he was actively neglecting Snow Owl by failing to do even the most basic tasks to keep the company viable. For example, Correa stopped paying the company's software developer, stopped paying the company that hosted Snow Owl's server, and failed to pay nominal legal fees necessary to protect Snow Owl's intellectual property despite repeated warnings from others that he needed to do so. In or about the summer/spring of 2015, as Snow Owl foundered, I had to look that up, by the way. It means sink. Correa announced his decision to run for mayor of Fall River, notwithstanding the fact that he had fraudulently. Did I just say that wrong too? What's wrong with me today?
You said fraudulently.
That's just awful.
That's okay.
That's awful. Fraudulently taken hundreds of investors' money. Correa touted his stewardship of Snow Owl to Fall River voters as one of his primary qualifications for mayor. Now, this is the important part of this. After he was elected mayor in 2015, Correa became increasingly unresponsive to inquiries from the investors and software developers. As a result, in or about April 2016, investor number one asked his nephew, who had a PhD in chemistry and experience with technology startups, he's also advisor number one, if advisor number one was willing to help try to revive Snow Owl now that Correa has been elected mayor. Advisor number one agreed. After the meeting, Advisor 1 and Correa agreed that Advisor number 1 would become a formal advisor to Snow Owl. In that role, Advisor number 1 would attempt to strengthen Snow Owl's business, raise funding, acquire more users, and make Snow Owl great again, basically. An attractive candidate for acquisition.
That was great.
Thanks. In return, Correa agreed to provide advisor number 1 with Snow Owl's financial records, including financial statements, balance sheets, income statements, cash flow statements, accounting ledgers, and any salary or loan-related information for Snow Owl employees.
I thought Snow Owl didn't have any employees.
That is something that's very important here. Something very important here. Right. Despite several requests for accounting ledgers, debt notes, and other important records, however, Correa only provided advisor number 1 with a handful of documents. Concerned about Correa's failure to provide these documents, advisor number 1 met with associate number 3 and later emailed Correa, who was the mayor at the time. I love how they keep on saying,
well, they're doing that.
The mayor at the time.
They're doing that too, because now, did they email Jazel's personal email, or did they email his city email?
Right.
Because if he emailed his city email, that's property to the
city,
to the residents.
Right. Oh yeah.
If it was his personal email,
he's using government. Yeah. I met with associate number 3 today to go over company. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the email that was sent to Jazel Correa. I met with associate number 3 today to go over company financial information and found that there are some very alarming financial issues that need to be fixed before we can go forward with Snow Owl. Associate number 3 and I need access to records of all investor money that's been put into the company and how it has been spent. If you don't have those records available, then we have to get together, find what we can, and rectify these issues. Right now, neither associate number 3 or I know where a substantial amount of investor money collected by Snow Owl is gone. Furthermore, as I understand it, early on in the company, you used a personal account to conduct company business after raising investor money. This is, at best, a horrible mistake and, at worst, can be regarded as criminal if the funding gaps are not solved.
So is that what they're saying? Then he fixed it so the funding gaps were solved? That's probably what that means.
The next sentence is, Correa never responded to the above email.
Maybe he didn't get it. Might have been lost.
Well, you know, that does happen if it's a city email.
Sure it does.
If it's a city email.
Sure it does.
It happens quite frequently if you watch a city council meeting.
Doesn't it?
All right. In or about May 2016, however, Correa hired an accountant based in southern Massachusetts, this is accountant number 1, to verify and categorize 3 years, 2013, 14, and 15, of Snow Owl deposit and disbursement activity as either business or non-business transactions. To perform this task, accountant number 1 requested all of Snow Owl's financial and accounting records. In response to this request, however, Correa provided, again, only limited Snow Owl financial documents, including the citizens' account records. There were broad documents that accountant number 1 never received, including, but not limited to. By the way, when I read things and I hear but not limited to, I always appreciate that because that is a thorough individual writing that paragraph. I do it all the time, and it means a lot. It does.
Yeah, it does.
Including, but not limited to, the investor agreements, accounting records, business plans, records reflecting Snow Owl's joint ownership, convertible debt notes, and receipts or invoices.
What if there's no investor agreements, no business plan? Like, that's what I mean. Like,
so this accountant, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't believe he can. I just know it from my point of view, from my experience.
Yeah.
And I've never run a business, but I've been involved in a couple of nonprofits. There is a lot of information that you need to bring to the IRS before they even allow you to take money. So my guess is that that if these documents were needed by the accountant, they should have already been in place before he opened up the business. So over the next several months,
do apps though, like, do technological, like, I don't even know if that's what it's called. Like, do apps fall into that same category?
A business is a business.
Are laws different though?
Because
if there's no law set in, you can say that. But if there's loopholes, will he be able to find a loophole?
Now this is something I was trying. I called into Mark Dion because Dion was hosting Flanagan's show yesterday, and I wanted to kind of throw it out there that
what?
Yeah, Dion was hosting Flanagan's show yesterday because Flanagan was busy, I guess.
You literally caught me off guard with that. With that. That's
is it? Do I keep on saying Dion, but it's Dion, isn't it?
I don't know what it is. You'd have to ask him. I'm from Fall River, so typically we'd say Dion. Yeah, but is that the way he pronounces it himself? That'd be like Dr. Costa.
It's very likely Dion. And we've had this conversation before.
We have.
We've spent way too much time.
You keep saying.
I say Dion.
You say Dion.
I don't know why I do. I'm
gonna say there's another Dion too. I can't remember his name. Mike.
Who's excellent. I like him. But anyway. He's one of the few guys in the old City Hall that I can say, I like that guy. One of the few.
I like them all for different reasons.
Yeah, I guess so. You're a fence rider.
No other way to be. Look at, when you're not on the fence, it's like...
Yeah, you fall down.
No. I don't fall.
So, what I wanted to say on Mark Dion's show is, it's going to be interesting what kind of defense Jazel puts up. Because, and I'm going to go right back to this Washington Post article real quick. We're almost on the final legs of this indictment anyway. Jazel stated in response to his allegations, let me see if I can see this here. He stated, let's go. Not my best Thursday, he told reporters, which I thought that was interesting.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. And that was actually pretty good. He said something to the tune of whatever these charges are, whatever that is, because he doesn't even know what that is.
Oh, you want to read his statement?
Yeah.
We got his full statement.
Yeah, we will have a trial that he says, you will see when we have a trial that I will be vindicated, basically is what he said. But he's absolutely not resigning, and I actually have the denied allegations right here. It's actually on Twitter, believe it or not.
Okay. Yeah, that's his statement. That's
yeah. Yeah. So his statement says, I was going to say his statement states, and that would have been redundant. I want to state unequivocally that I am innocent of all the allegations and charges made against me today. Being an entrepreneur being an entrepreneur is what America is all about, and that is why I started Snowall when I was just 19 years old, to develop a truly innovative app to better connect local businesses with local customers. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into building this company. The Snowall app was completed and approved for downloading from the Apple App Store. At no time did I ever mislead our investors. I look forward to the day in court to share my side of the story and declare my name. As I am innocent of these charges, I will absolutely not be resigning from this office. Good. I love Fall River and its residents. It has been and will continue to be an honor to serve them and to move our city forward. I want to reassure all my constituents that these unfortunate circumstances will in no way impact the functioning of city government or my commitment to work as hard as I possibly can every day to represent the citizens of the great city of Fall River.
Unfortunately, he can't say that because his city council is not going to allow it not to have anything to do with city government. They're going to bring it right into our city government. Instead of saying innocent until proven guilty, which is where we should all be. We should all be innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. I don't know how many times I need to say that. It's frustrating. People go right to guilty. You're guilty, resign. If you know that you're innocent, please do not resign. I'm asking you that as a resident. Don't resign if you know
if you
you're
think
innocent.
about, you want to, we kind of go back and forth between national politics, and I remember Al Franken.
Yes.
He jumped right off.
Yes.
As soon as he realized
and he
that it was bad.
He shouldn't have.
Well, he had photos and all that
There
stuff.
were photos, but here's the thing. As he was saying, there wasn't anything behind it. Mm-hmm. There wasn't anything behind it. It was just, he could have sat down with that woman and had a conversation in public and made everybody feel
I think what he did was before the allegations came, he decided to step down.
Yeah, he didn't want it because it was, see, that's where I think it wasn't for Al Franken. Al Franken didn't step down because of Al Franken. Al Franken stepped down because of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, he didn't want to.
Is why Al Franken stepped down.
He didn't want dirt that was going to come his way to dirty up
be on the
else.
entire party.
Right.
And that's the same thing. When you have, like, yesterday, that's all the conversation was about Jazel. And what's upsetting to me is you have Patrick Kennedy, of course, came and he also wants Jazel to resign. When do you care about Fall River except when you have something to say that his son, it's Patrick Kennedy.
Okay, all right.
When do you have something, when do you care about Fall River other than when your name is going to be posted in a newspaper article nationally? You don't. He had his rebuttal to Donald Trump's inaugural address here in Fall River. Where has he been since then? This snow owl stuff isn't new. If you really cared about it, why weren't you here before? You're not. It's because he's got a name for himself. It's the same thing with Charlie Baker. Why won't Charlie Baker say that he wants Jazel to resign publicly? Does he really want him to resign publicly, or is that just what the Republicans are telling him to say? So we've got Republicans, Charlie Baker, right? So the Republicans that are speaking for Charlie Baker, not Charlie Baker himself, says resign. And then we have Patrick Kennedy, who's sticking up for the Democrats, telling Jazel to resign. I get an idea. Stay the hell out of Fall River. If you're not going to help us, right, because we're fighting a methadone clinic, a brand new methadone clinic being opening up. We had a mayor who was charged or who was being investigated for allegedly threatening a city councilor with a weapon. Where were you guys then? It's like they don't have anything to say unless they think it's going to affect them, whether it's positive or negative. So stay the hell out of my city. That's what I have to say about that. As soon as I read that Patrick Kennedy too wanted him to resign, I'm like, oh, here we go. The more it's the divisiveness. It's the divisiveness, and I'm always going to go back to innocent until proven guilty. If he was stealing taxpayer money, if he was being charged with allegedly stealing taxpayer money, then resign. Then you resign. Not for this. Sorry, I can't. If he's found guilty, then he can resign.
One of the biggest mistakes I make when I do this show is jumping on Facebook while I'm in the middle of doing the show, because then I end up getting distracted.
Yeah, you do.
I hate when it happens.
I don't know why you do it to yourself.
Because I was looking for something, and then the next thing you know, here I am.
I've stayed away from social media.
I know you have.
I can't, because I'll go on, and it's still the same people with the same arguments. And you know the funny part is a lot of you are hypocrites in the worst way, because you're sticking up for the person that you like, and then you're against the person that you're not alike. Like, listen, if you believe in our justice system and you believe that you're innocent until proven guilty, just shut up about it. Let the investigators do their job, and we can have this great big discussion after it's done.
Right. We're going to have some more discussions, though.
Because in my opinion, it's too close to the election. You've got Republicans and Democrats fighting each other like crazy. It's just more divisive. It's more divisive. And in the grand scheme of things, you know, personally, do I care if Jazel told an investor, yeah, right, at 19 years old, yeah, I can make some money for you. Like, I don't believe that some of the people who invested in him with the idea that they were going to get any money back. So I'd like to see the agreements. If you're going to make it public, if you want to talk about it, let's see the agreements that he had with the investors.
If there's a civil suit, if there's someone getting sued, I'm pretty sure those documents will come out. But I'm gonna scale down. I just wanted to get Jazel's statement out there. But then I'm gonna go back to this indictment real quick here.
You know, and I feel bad for the investors too if they really had an agreement where they thought they were going to make money off it. But I'm being honest with you, not for nothing, half the city laughed when Jazel said he was running for mayor. I heard so many people, countless people, he's a kid, he's a kid, he's a kid, he's a kid, the kid. Why are you investing? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It drives me crazy.
So let's see. Counts. So here are the counts, okay? On or about each of the dates set forth below in Fall River in the District of Massachusetts. The District of Massachusetts.
You know, and I'd like to know, too, if his investors are business owners who knew he was going to run for mayor with the intent that they might have got something once he was mayor. Like, that's what I check into, too. Are any of these investors, have any of these investors gone in front of city council to ask for something and maybe didn't get it and now they're upset?
Jazel F. Correa II, having devised and intended to devise a scheme in artifice to defraud and for obtaining money and property by means of materially false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises, did transmit and cause to be transmitted by means of wire communications and interstate commerce, writing, signs, signals, pictures, and sounds for the purpose of executing the scheme to defraud. Now, that's not bad. I actually read that all very nicely. I'm very happy with myself. Description of wire communication. May 5th, 2014, processing of a $6,000 check. And so on and so forth. This is all in section 58 of the indictment, and it shows processing of checks as high as $25,000, as low as $4,500, and emails and such are also involved. Attaching business plan.
Wait a minute, but I don't understand that. So they're charging him because he processed a check from an investor? That doesn't make sense to me. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
And then 11 and 10 and 11 is also
a 1040. That's his,
right. There's 1040 tax returns. There's also one where they're saying that he falsified his return, his tax return.
All right, but when they're saying that he falsified it, again, I'm going to say, was it something that he was filling out incorrectly the first time and then was told it was being filled out incorrectly, so then he correctly filled it out?
Correa knew that the amended 2013 and 14 personal tax returns that he caused to be filed were, with the IRS, were materially false in the following ways. Snow Owl was improperly classified as a sole proprietorship in 2013-14, saving Correa tens of thousands of dollars in tax liability. The returns failed to report income Correa received from different businesses of his. And 3, the returns falsely claimed personal expenditures as business expenditures on the attached Schedule C.
Which is a slap in the wrist in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
It's a fine.
All right.
Through the IRS.
And if he gets fined
because I'm going to say how many other people do the same thing, and it's just a slap on the.
Do you remember Curt Schilling?
Yeah.
He was the Red Sox pitcher.
Yeah, bled.
Right, bloody sock.
Bloody ankle.
Do you remember his investment in Rhode Island?
Yes.
And he got to some stuff for that too.
And didn't go to jail for it.
Yeah, that was millions of dollars.
And didn't go to jail for it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's going to go to jail. I don't know if Jay-Z's going to jail. I know he got arrested and I know he's out on bail.
And what did Curt Schilling get though?
I don't even remember.
A bunch of fines and a slap on the wrist.
Did he go to jail? He didn't get arrested at all? So Jay-Z got arrested? And Curt Schilling didn't?
Let me see if Curt Schilling got arrested.
That's privilege.
You think?
That's rich people's privilege. That's nothing to do with color.
It's the elites.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with color. That's just a rich guy doing rich guy stuff. Curt Schilling is a big, ardent Trump supporter too. Huge.
He is.
Huge. So Fall River's mayor got arrested and is indicted for fraud and is in a whole lot of trouble. And now...
No, he's got to pay him back.
Huh?
Curt Schilling has to pay Rhode Island back.
He didn't spend any time in jail? He didn't get arrested? He didn't get indicted?
Hold on.
Keep looking. Okay. Nikki's on the case. When Nikki's on the case,
he defrauded the state out of $75 million.
Just a small amount of money.
And he's got to pay back. Oh wait, former executives at 38 studios. He's got to pay back $2.5 million of the $75 million in loans.
Nice. That's a nice little discount, huh?
Damn.
This is $72.5 million he doesn't have to pay? Good for him. It's nice. Anyhow, so,
be glad that you didn't invest in that.
But, Curt Schilling is a baseball player, and he's an ESPN analyst. He is not the mayor of Fall River. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
And the mayor of Fall River is going to have to answer to a lot of people who invested their time and, not just time, money, patience, the whole 9 yards. And to the people who are saying a lot of this stuff didn't happen when he was mayor, a lot of this stuff was happening while he was the mayor and also while he was a city councilor. Mm-hmm. You have to remember that all the after the fact refiling and trying to do this and that and the other, ignoring payments to his investors and ignoring this, that, and the other. These things are all happening while he was the mayor and while he was city councilor. You have to just admit that and know exactly where you are on this. When you were recalling William Flanagan, you wanted accountability. When you were going after Sam Sutter's fees and taxes, and we were called freeloaders and free riders and this, that, and the other from all these different things, we wanted accountability. When you seen the 12 taxpayer lawsuit and all this and that from Ray Mitchell, you wanted accountability. You can't be selective in your accountability as a citizen. You can, it's not going to get us anywhere. We're going to end up with fraudulent individuals in our seats if we keep on allowing this to happen. So we do have to hold everybody to the same level of accountability. Yours truly, Trot Lee for City Council, blah, blah, blah. He is right now currently the director of the Veterans Center. If there is documentation and investigations that Trot Lee was doing something fishy, wrong, fraudulent, blah, 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 down at the Veterans Center, I expect you to hold me equally as accountable. Guess what? That's taxpayer money too. That's state taxpayer money. We have to make sure we're on point with everything we do over there. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we're wrong. And that's just a matter of fact. So you have to always stay diligent and consistent when you're holding people accountable. And that includes people you like. Raise your hand if you voted for Jay as a career. I raise my hand right now. I voted for him. I love his father. Every time I see his father, I'm always saying hi to him. I talk to him for at least 25, 30 minutes when I see him. I like these people. Liking them personally doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you think they should hold the position they hold politically. Absolutely right. I wish that everybody in the city would think of it like that. Right. Because you'd have a whole different city council. You'd have a whole different... You'd have the A-team and then the B-team. Right. You can like someone on a regular human being level, but you do have to hold them accountable when they are your government official. And that is just a simple matter of fact. And what is also a fact, and again, it's in Jayzel's side, is that you are innocent until proven guilty. So You're supposed to be anyway. He can hold on to that flag. The judicial system's supposed to work. And he can hold on to that flag while he stays in position of mayor and continues to try to be the mayor of Fall River. But please, everyone is going to have to really understand the situation here. It's a distraction. And I hope that our city councilors, and I'm talking to you, Cliff Ponte, don't use this as their way to try to run in an election, because I'm going to tell you, if he's found innocent, Nikki, it's gonna be ugly. I would love for you to get your 35 seconds back of your life wasting saying that, because you already know how this is gonna go down. It's so sad. You know how this is gonna go down. It's so sad, and I still don't think he'd win. They're all gonna come out of the woodwork. Yep. Let them. Oh well. And you know what? As they're coming out of the woodwork, I hope all their documentation is in order too. Kick the can down the road. I hope all of their documentation is properly written down, and I hope their contracts are all on the up and up. Mr. Kick the Can Down the Road is coming back to Fall River. He's coming back. You think? He's gonna walk across that bridge. You know what? But Mr. Kick the Can Down the Road was the one who had. I told you about his donations. I liked his donations. Yeah. Couldn't stand behind anything that he was saying. But the reason that I liked it was because I felt like he had enough of residents to stand behind him. We're the ones voting for him, so that's what you need. Do you know why? Listen, I don't know why. Because nobody big was going to invest in him. I know, but still, I can respect it. I didn't say that I would vote for him. It's not like he took a stand. I did not say that I would vote for him or that I back any of his political ideas. It's not like he took a stand or it was his policy to only take from... But when I looked at the donations, he was the only one who wasn't bought. You, again, are also remembering that he may not have filed everything he took. I agree. All right. Anyway. But I can't say what I don't know. Anyway. Allegedly. Innocent until proven guilty. All right, so I'm making macaroni and cheese for some friends later on. That's hilarious. I'm making mac and cheese today as well. You want to compare and see whose is better? No. Okay. That's a stupid question. Oh, why? You've been making mac and cheese for how long? Oh, it's true. I have not. That's true. I have more macaroni and cheese. I'm pulling off recipes online. I have more macaroni and cheese. I do not like macaroni and cheese. Ooh. You should just take mine. You just take my recipe. You'll love it. Yeah? Actually... It's for my kid. It's not for me. Right. I was going to say, how do they like it? They tell you exactly how they like it or not? Southern. Yes! Because I'm going to tell you... That's how I got my recipe. When we go on vacation, when we drive, we usually drive from here to Florida. Uh-huh. My child, I swear to you, at every stop... It's ribs and mac and cheese. I don't like... Every stop. I don't like LeBron James on a... I think he's like a kind of an arrogant athlete. Mm-hmm. I respect his game. I respect someone... I love what he's doing in Ohio with the school, right? But I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way he carries himself. He's cocky. Yeah, he's arrogant. It's hard to root for someone.
We are the only show that can go from Jazel to...
I'm connecting all this. I'm connecting all this together. And I also feel the same exact way about Kobe Bryant, especially him being a Laker. Now LeBron's a Laker. But like these guys, the way they carried themselves, I just wasn't crazy about it. I didn't like it. Even Kevin Garnett, who I loved as a player from day one, I didn't like him yelling, swearing at other people when he was on the court. I always appreciated someone like Grant Hill, who was just a gentleman on and off the court at all times. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I can always, even if I don't like them on a personal level, I can appreciate their gift. I can appreciate their talent. I'm going somewhere with this.
I hope so. I'm waiting.
Hey, this is a Matlock episode.
I'm like, okay, we're at Kobe Bryant.
This is the Matlock episode, and Matlock used to always have to take you through the ringer in order to bring it home.
You're reminding me of Columbo a little bit right now.
I love Columbo too. Same exact premise, including a Bill Cosby story. And I know, just saying.
Wow, we're hitting them all today.
Bill Cosby also used to have to tell the whole story to get to the point. My point here is this. Just because I don't like that person does not mean that I can't appreciate the talents that they have.
Right.
Where did my macaroni and cheese recipe come from?
Paula Deen.
Yes, it did.
I remember you telling me that.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. The racist.
Yeah.
Paula Deen. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
But that macaroni and cheese recipe, though.
Yeah, you know where she probably got it from, right?
Well, of course. What do you think? What do you think? Anyway, so...
All those Southern people are like, it's our food, it's our land. I'm like, oh, Lord.
Sure. Did you see Donald Trump talk about
I have seen a lot of stuff that I am just, like, floored by.
Did you see him talk about Robert E. Lee?
No.
He praised Robert E. Lee.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, to a bunch of people in Ohio where Ulysses
No, well, look, you got Kanye telling him we can abolish the 13th Amendment. Like, hello? Dude.
I have, this is my only, Kanye conversation.
Okay, but he's about this part. He's about this part. I know where he wants to go with it. He just can't. He's not the guy to go there.
Do you know who's making me laugh the most about this whole Kanye West business? Is Fox News, of course.
They're eating it all up, aren't they?
They are worshiping the ground that Kanye is walking on right now. They love him to death right now. They love it. He's just a man who's trying to get answers and all this and that, right? 2017. Just a year ago, they were complaining about rappers having statements of policy.
They don't want anybody to have anything right.
But the minute Kanye West wears the red MAGA hat, or is it MAGA? I don't know. Let's see again. But it's MAGA because it's again.
MAGA, so then it would be America.
Yeah, it's America.
America. America.
So it's MAGA.
So it should be MAGA. Make our America great again?
I don't think so. That sounds too close to Mogwai, which is from the Gremlins. So you have Kanye ranting. I listened to the whole thing for 23 minutes. I don't think he didn't stop to take one breath. He went 100 miles an hour for 23 minutes. I watched it all because I wanted to listen to what he had to say.
I didn't.
I'm the kind of person that will listen to what you have to say.
I can't.
And I did. And I didn't agree with a lot of it. I didn't.
You do not have to convince me that you did not agree with
me. Right. But what I don't like is Fox News, because Fox News, what they did was they legitimized Kanye West after years of trying to delegitimize other rappers who tried to get involved in politics and state their opinions. That's what I don't like. I just think that partisan politics in general is just way off the charts. They were even there was one person who has a show now who is praising Kanye, who years ago was saying that Barack Obama doesn't even probably listen to this music. He thinks he's just trying to be cool with the cool guys. If anybody in their right minds thinks that Donald Trump listens to Kanye West music.
He flipped out and Donald Trump's followers flipped out when Kanye put Donald Trump in his video. Remember when he had all the dolls in the bed? They were all naked and they were all in the bed. People lost their minds. How quickly they forget about that.
Fox was making waves and being upset about Common, the rapper. Common, who is one of the most non-swearing, violent rappers in out there. He used the N-word in some of his songs and this, that, and the other. Do we need to pull up some Kanye lyrics? Because we can. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, and we haven't even touched on the whole idea of mental illness.
Do you think he's mentally ill?
I think he has been diagnosed as bipolar. He has been diagnosed with depression. I think any of those things, you cannot. Like, you're taking somebody who's bipolar and the whole, they go like this. It's up, down, up, down.
I'll be very honest with you. I'm not worried. Like, in this context, I think that Kanye West has every right to be in the Oval Office and saying what he said. What I don't like,
They're gonna have a fit.
No.
About
Listen.
Kaepernick kneeling, and this guy can talk the way he did in the Oval Office.
Because I'm looking at it from the other direction, Nikki. I'm looking at it from Colin Kaepernick also has a right to do that, just as much as Kanye has a right to do that, just as much as Common.
Well, I didn't say you didn't have a right to do it, but I just find that the way people react to it,
I don't like their reactions. That's what's different.
It's hypocritical.
But Kanye had a right to be there. He had a right. He has a right to express his opinion. He's a person who has influence.
The Republican Party does, or even the Democratic Party does not have the right to use Kanye to their advantage. And I think that's where the mental illness thing is going to come into play.
If you feel like he's being exploited for his mental illness, I mean that's something.
He does have a right to say, because again, you can't take somebody with a mental illness and say, oh, we got to forgive everything that he's saying just because he's got a mental illness.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
Right.
What I'm saying is I just don't like that they will use it.
You feel like he's being exploited.
So like he went and said whatever he said, and we could be having a great conversation about his actual words, but we're not.
Right.
We could have a conversation about mental illness, but we're not.
Right.
It's again divisiveness. Yes, he's for the Republicans. Oh, Democrats gotta hate him. It's never like nobody say I'd like to have a conversation.
Objective.
You need to respect people to listen to him. What he's saying is not gonna get anywhere.
I want to.
It's fodder.
I want people to be able to listen objectively to both sides, whether they support a
There's
politician
more than
or
two
not.
sides.
Right, or whatever. But I'm just saying, I just want people to be able to be objective, no matter how many sides there is to the discussion. Being able to listen to whatever somebody's having to say, to understand what they're trying to say, and to still be able to have a rebuttal is important in this country, because we're not able to have that conversation right now. It's us against you. It's us against them.
I put this hat on and I feel like a hero.
Yeah,
like come on, man.
You felt like Superman. You did.
Because the hat. Because so many people pay attention to Trump and now they're paying attention to him. Like,
Trump didn't look very comfortable when it was going on.
When Trump gets uncomfortable, he crosses his arms. I noticed that. He crosses his arms.
He didn't look comfortable, but at the same time, he knew this was beneficial to him, so he continued on with it.
Yeah, same thing when he was with Kim.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's awful.
All right, well, if Kanye West is a conservative, he has a right to be a conservative. I didn't agree with a lot of what he was saying. That's all.
I didn't listen to it.
And here's the other thing that was making me laugh about Fox News, because Fox News is just it is something, man.
I feel like
they were saying
they go back and forth.
They were saying that Kanye West came from the hood and made himself into this, that, and the other. Kanye's mother was a professor, and he lived in the suburbs his whole life. Not every black person is from the ghetto.
The project.
It was a problem for me listening to that. I'm like, oh, please stop, man. Just please stop.
They do that a lot.
Oh, man.
They make assumptions all the time. That's like they also make assumptions that all of black people are going to love Trump now because Kanye. Hello? Like, what?
It was tough.
That's the thing behind it. Like, it's like they think that one person is going to have everybody follow. Like,
I honestly didn't have a problem with Kanye West doing what he did. I don't personally.
I do in the White House. He should not have been at the White House in the Oval Office.
I had a problem with the response from the conservative base that just sounded like a bunch of hypocrites when other rappers wanted to do and speak on that platform and didn't have the opportunity to, or was shunned for doing it. That's what I had a problem with. And I can listen to somebody and disagree with their points and walk away and say, fine, I disagree with what they say.
Trump is only listening to people who think he's great.
Right. He's not gonna put a rapper up there that disagrees with his
And it's
position.
not even just thinks that, because he doesn't even like you if you just think he's great. You need to tell him he's great.
And you have to also say that he's better than everybody else. Yeah. So there's a whole other level of ego that's involved in this. But I just wanted to throw out there that,
as Meghan McCain said, Republicans and conservatives should not put Kanye in their basket. They should not be looking to this one guy, one celebrity, because eventually, what happens when he drops the ball?
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. I mean, and if I had a conversation with Kanye West, I would ask him a lot of questions pertaining to what's his position on like the very fine people comment that was made back in Charlottesville, and
he could have had a better conversation. That's what I mean, and it's not, and that's what gets frustrating. It's every time you see somebody sit down to discuss politics. Like, I didn't want to hear Omarosa discussing politics neither. No. As somebody who was a very, very huge fan of The Apprentice. Since it started, right? When he brought her in, and I'm like, what the hell? Like you.
But you knew what these things were.
I knew that Omarosa had a recording in her pocket, a recording thing before anybody. I was like, why is anybody trusting this state? Didn't you watch The Apprentice?
But I don't. I guess I was going to say is that the reason why Omarosa was brought in was obviously for the appearance of for certain communities, just like when
and I believe
Kavanaugh,
she kissed his rear end. I think no matter what color you
just like when Kavanaugh was being questioned, they wanted a woman to question him. They do play. I mean, and not just they, because Democrats do the same exact thing. They play the what's the demographic.
Yeah, and I think they do it intentionally. That's the great joke here. The joke's on us. Right? The Republicans and the Democrats, they know exactly what they're doing, and they do it together. They pick something and they use it because it's divisive. If everybody actually sat down, like people say to me, pick a side, you're a fence walker. If we had everybody being fence walkers, imagine the Democrats and Republicans would have no choice but to work together, right?
True.
But when they keep it divisive, they know it's the group mentality. We don't have to vote with everything that they like. We could just pick this one topic, and that's going to fire them up.
The recall showed me in my face, because we've always known that there's power in numbers. We always known that there's power in a united group of people. But I was a part of that recall, and that showed me with my own eyes, I could see the power of a unified group, even if they come from different backgrounds, even if they have different beliefs, whatever. They all surged into one focus, and it was a very overwhelming number. That recall was like 10,000 people in the city that actually voted yes to recall Flanagan at that time. And just as quickly as we saw the unification, we saw the breakdown. You can progressively see when people started to branch into the Mayoza versus Sam Sutter versus maybe even Sean Kadim or whoever. When all that was going on in the recall election, you really had a problem there. And you could see people who were standing side by side in one cause
are now fighting.
Were becoming enemies. Yeah. They were enemies.
I know.
Hating each other afterwards. And a lot of those fences have not been mended. And then when Jazel became the mayor, Jazel, and we talked about it a couple of shows back, that Jazel did a lot of the things that recallers wanted to do. He challenged a lot of the things that recallers wanted to challenge. And so he was able to solidify his base from a lot of different angles related to those actions that he did. And he won the second election relatively easy. And I think part of that was that Linda Pereira as a candidate didn't focus on what she was going to do, and she focused more against him. And
she's a woman.
Right,
she wasn't winning,
but she did make a negative campaign.
But she wasn't winning. She wasn't winning no matter what.
I don't want to say that necessarily.
I'm a woman and I'll say it.
But that's not why she lost.
That's exactly why she lost. That's why Kathy Ann Viveris lost.
Kathy Ann ran a different campaign.
Right. And she still lost.
But I'm saying that Linda didn't even give herself a chance. She didn't. She did not run. She did not run the campaign.
She's surrounding herself with the wrong people. If she surrounded herself with better people, I could have helped her get elected.
I actually
and I'm not trying to tout my own horn, but
if I say to you, no, you couldn't have because she's a woman, I don't agree with that. I think
that she would have, if she had better people around her, she would have. I could guarantee you the people she's got around her are men.
But she didn't provide a viable alternative to Jazel Correa.
I think even if
she provided criticism. She provided a lot of criticism, but she didn't provide an alternative, and her alternatives were things that we've already had in place. She was going to bring back some people that Jazel had gotten rid of that we know probably very likely wouldn't have been very good of a return. That kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So
I still don't think.
No, I again, that doesn't eliminate the conversation, though. That still doesn't eliminate her responsibility as a candidate to provide better alternatives.
I know.
So, at any rate, so Jazel gained a lot of popularity, and if he did not have this indictment on him, if he did not have the Snow Owl stink on him right now, he would be a pretty unbeatable force in the city right now, I think.
If he comes out of this,
he'll be Buddy Cianci in his prime. That's what he'll be. He'll be Cianci, especially if he proves.
And that's the other part of it, folks. Like, think about just around here, just locally, right? Greater Fall River and even towards Providence. Think of all the politicians that everybody praises, like the politicians that everybody loves the most.
Oh,
they're all criminals.
Yeah, the ones that got dirt on them.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, did say that this was more of the same. A lot of people believe this was hope, change, fresh, new. We need something new.
Well, I don't think that changes it. I'm still going to say that everything positive that Jazel's done for the city has still been a positive move. I mean, you can't deny that when you drive around the city that it looks better. Things are getting done. Streets are getting done. And whether that's a combination of him being mayor and then the city council too. I'm not trying to take it away from some of the city council members. We've got new city council members as well. So who knows?
Yeah. So we'll go back to this if we think how this is going to go. How is the city council going to vote?
Leaving life after Jazel.
No. Nope. So how do you think the city council will vote? We'll go seat to seat.
Oh, 9.
Joe.
9 down.
Joe.
Yes. And that's like, Joe's the one for me. But I don't think he's going to have confidence either.
If you were sitting in the seat,
he would probably say, right? Because all it is just a no. It's just a vote. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything. There's nothing legal behind it.
What would you vote if you were sitting in the seat, city council, and Nikki Medeiros?
Abstain.
For what reasons?
Innocent until proven guilty. How could I form an opinion on something that's not?
Okay.
There's nothing there yet.
There's an indictment. There was an arrest. He's out on bail.
Okay. There's charges. People get arrested and charged.
But you can say if you're confident if he's innocent or guilty.
No, I can't.
Because you don't.
Because I don't know.
So you would abstain.
I would be silly to say I have confidence whether he's guilty. If I'm going to sit here and say that I totally believe innocent until proven guilty, then I cannot form an opinion yet.
What if you feel as though these charges are make the city look bad, a black eye?
They do.
Right.
But they do. But you can't.
So you wouldn't based on that. You wouldn't.
No, because I could find you. Absolutely not. The only way I would ask him to step down is if he believes he's guilty. If he knows he did something wrong, then step down. If you believe that you're innocent, I'm begging you not to step down.
Abstaining also means that you're not voting yes either.
How could I vote yes? I wouldn't know.
So that's a two-sided
it's the same reason. If I can't say no, how could I say yes? If I'm given the reason I can't make a judgment.
So you wouldn't have even entertained the city council to do this?
Absolutely not. I think it's disgusting that they're doing it, and I think it's personal that they're doing it. Cliff Ponte wants to run for mayor. What's a better way than to say, because here's the thing, right? He could manage to get a meeting together so quickly for a no confidence vote, right? But he couldn't find emails that were sent to him. He couldn't, he promised voters he was going to help get rid of pay as you throw, and there was there was nothing. I personally sent him a list of ordinances that were like literally just could have been erased without any problems, and they're still there today.
Hey.
So if he can't do his job as city councilor, don't you dare try to throw me some line of baloney. We're gonna have a meeting in a couple of days for.
I got a warning for the purple bags.
Was it for the purple bags or was it for your recycling?
It was for the purple bags.
Are you sure?
Someone said that.
Do you have it?
I didn't see it. It was a landlord told me that they got a warning for the purple bags. Then I don't believe it. They got a purple bags. It was an email from the governor, and I'm just joking. It was a warning supposedly from that.
I don't believe it.
And then the landlord responded by saying that I need to make sure I buy purple bags.
Well, I think you should ask your landlord for that warning.
Now I said I haven't replied back, but
because every time somebody tells me they got a warning, I ask them for it.
I didn't reply back to the landlord, but I did respond to someone in City Hall who then gave me the party line, the company line that, well, the city council voted it down.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Right.
By the way, there is still today not one ordinance that states we have to use purple bags.
Especially tenants.
Give me a fine. I dare you. I still haven't gotten one.
The city council voted it out.
Not even a warning. Not even a warning.
The city council voted it out, so therefore you still have to buy the bags.
The warnings that everybody is getting now, and I want somebody to send, please God, send me one. Because I've had people call me and say, freaking out, I got a fine for the purple bags. I'm like, no, you didn't. They're like, yes, I did. I said, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. It's right here. And then they look at it and they're like, oh no. Oh, it's for recycling. Oh, you better check it because it's not for purple bags.
So the warning was that I need to buy the bags or else. That's what my landlord said, or else blah blah blah. So then I responded to the city, and then they said to me that the city council voted it down, so you have to buy the bags. And I said, the mayor looked me in the eye and told me this after the council meeting. After the council voted this, he said to me that it was going to be gone in October. I even said to him, what do you think? September? He said October. I said, okay. It's October.
Happy anniversary tomorrow.
It's October
14th tomorrow.
So I don't have any plans to buy the bags. But now I had a Jazel supporter, because I mentioned this story to someone on Facebook, and a Jazel supporter who is saying innocent until proven guilty in the whole 9 yards. Well, you wouldn't have gotten a warning if you bought the bags.
He didn't get a warning. And anybody, and I don't care if you say you got a warning, show it to me. If you got a warning about purple bags or a fine for purple bags, prove it.
But
it should be easy, shouldn't it?
But one of the odd things that I just I can't wrap my head around is when Flanagan was the mayor, we weren't supposed to get the bags. But now that Jazel's the mayor, we're supposed to get the bags. I don't get that from people who literally were against the purple bags.
Oh no!
At one point,
maybe that's it. Maybe Jazel's using the money for the purple bags for his defense fund.
You can't do that because it's going to the tax levy, like a fee is supposed to, Nikki. Like a fee is supposed to.
Yeah, I'll say it again. Anybody claiming they got a fine for not using purple bags, prove it. Show it to me.
So I mentioned. I said, why would anyone expect me to buy the purple bags when they have not been legitimate from day one? Mm-hmm. They haven't.
Judge Macy said it. Like everybody is gonna forget. Judge Macy said it to Brad Kilby when questioned during a city council meeting a few months ago. Brad Kilby stood there and asked the question about the purple bags, and Judge Macy answered it. Judge Macy. Just saying. I can't take it. I really can't. And I love all of it. I love it all. That's like purple bags is supposed to go for trash. Yeah, and how are we paying for recycling?
So someone I'm in the middle of a conversation.
Where did your recycling charges come from?
I'm literally in a conversation. I said, I'll ask you or if anyone else knows where the money goes from the purple bags to Fall River. The person responded back to me and said it's supposed to go to subsidize the cost of trash disposal. That's what other communities do.
It's not.
And I said it absolutely is not doing that.
Jeez, it goes into the general fund.
Right.
It is never. The money for the purple bags has never, ever funded our 8 million trash bill. Never.
And I want to know, it's only supposed to subsidize the cost of residential trash disposal.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to bring this person into the conversation more, and then I'm going to let him understand the situation, because I think a lot of people just
I don't think a lot of people. And the funny thing is even now I got into a battle with a woman in Somerset the other day about buying purple bags. Yeah, you use the trash, you got to buy the purple bags, and it's like, right. Again. And I tell them, okay, so who's paying for your recycling? You know all that lovely recycling that you're paying for? Should we go and get purple bags for recycling? And they're like, no. Well, you do know that to get rid of your recycling, it costs more than it does to get rid of your trash, right?
But Nikki, the purple bags make me recycle more.
Great, then it contributes to the cost of our recycling being so damn high. Brainiacs.
Fantastic world we live in.
It's going to go away anyway. I know it is. It's going away. And like I said, if anybody is claiming they heard somebody got a fine for not using the purple bags, ask for the evidence. Because if they got a fine, the fine was written out. I will bet you if they actually did get a fine, it was for recycling. Mm-hmm. Because that is what you can be fined for. Mm-hmm. I couldn't fight a recycling fine nowhere. No. You get a recycling fine, pay it. But if you get a purple bag fine, I can help you fight that to the hilt.
You don't even need help.
Well, but it makes because I've had so many people, and literally the last month I've probably had 3 to 4 different people tell me they got a fine. Yeah. And every time, and I've said it, and I might sound rude when I say no, you didn't, because they look at me. Yes, I did. Show it to me. Mm-hmm. And they've literally only 2 have been able to say anything about it, and it was because of recycling. Oh, and that's how. Oh, I thought it was for the purple bags. It's for the recycling. Mm-hmm. Yes, because you got plastic bags in your recycling bin.
But Nikki, I got to tell you this right now. I guarantee you that if there's purple bags in your trash bin, you're not getting a fine. You're not getting a warning for recycling. You're not.
No.
Because they just want you to
buy the bags. That's it. And actually, I don't even believe that. Right now, I don't even believe that anymore. Because there are a lot of recycling fines. People are getting hit on recycling left and right.
No, there's another reason why that's happening.
I know why that's happening. I know why. That's a logical reason. You should be getting fined. If you've got plastic bags in your recycling bin, sorry, you should be getting fined. Yeah. If God help me, this is like here we go. Like I literally tried for 4 years. I've been telling everybody there is not one law on the books about purple bags. Like you don't need to use purple bags. Recycling, on the other hand,
you need to do.
There are laws, federal laws, state laws, local laws, our ordinances.
Problem is though,
they're all binding. Those are binding.
Problem is though, even if you are following your recycling laws to the T right now, you're still screwed.
Oh, actually, there is one way you can fight the recycling fine. Oh my God, we collect from housing.
If you are recycling to the T, to that list that the city gives you, you are still, unfortunately, not helping your environment. It's true.
No, recycling's bad now.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy.
Yes. It is a fact that recycling in America,
in Massachusetts, is taking a huge hit.
Right. Is a crisis situation.
Yes, it is. I said that though, situation. Like not that I want to be proud of me saying that though. I actually publicly said something to our city councilors about this being so out of control that if they really cared about our trash issue,
there's only one Fall River political issue that's bigger than it, in my opinion, and that is the pension liability cost. Oh. That is the dark cloud that is running over everybody today, and it will be running over us for quite some time.
Yeah, because trash is the big distractor.
Because there is absolutely no resolution to this whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I just was snooping around other areas, and I think it's Rhode Island, people who are getting a 401k are now trying to get into the city books, into the city retirement books, because of such a sweet deal that it is.
when you
but
look
it's going to
at
put the
certain
taxpayers,
individuals who come to Fall River and all of a sudden run for office out of nowhere, you have to wonder why. It should be clear and obvious.
We are in a situation, a very, very tight situation here when it comes to the finances in the city, and the dark cloud running over all of it is the fact that we have no resolution at all to pension liability in this city, in this state. It's in the billions in the state. It's in the tens of billions. Steve Kamara, I just got done. I'm involved in a group called the United Interfaith Issues Assembly. Okay, it's groups of churches that get together. They try to tackle issues. In that conversation, Steve Kamara brought up an issue that I feel comfortable bringing up because he's also brought it up in council meetings as well. He brought up the issue of state funding for local education. He feels as though this should no longer be the responsibility of a city, and that we should tap into state funds and make it equal and make the funding equal to all. So that way you're not getting funded by zip code, you're getting funded by whatever the funding is. And I say the needs of each place is different.
Absolutely.
So some places that don't need that money are gonna, or who already have an abundance of money, are gonna get more, unless you are keeping everybody at the same till. But then you also have to figure out that some places may need more than another place. But I think that's something that he's gonna have to iron his argument out.
How about we stop impeding businesses from opening up in the city? That nice small businesses from opening up in the city, or impeding people wanting to buy property. That would be back on the tax rolls. How about that? How about we stop focusing on asking the state for help? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Or if you want a TIF, you don't get the TIF for the first 5 years. You don't start giving it until year 5.
Or you can say to I mean, this, I don't know. I mean, people who have been involved in these conversations a lot more than I have, a lot more than we have been doing this for a while. I'd like to see how this conversation goes someday. I'd love to be able to sit on some of these agreement issues and these meetings just to see how it's asked, how it's talked about, priorities of who's representing the city, priorities of who's representing the business, right? And see how we get to a place where we lose $200 million in tax money to pay for some of these things that residential taxpayers end up having to pay for. You see what I'm saying? So I want to see
all those pensions.
It's 2:03 right now. We're over our time, unfortunately. Good conversation we had here. We went through the indictment. We talked about the future of Fall River, which is a little bit turmoil right now. It's a little bit turmoil. We don't know who the next mayor is going to be if this thing goes down.
You gotta hit the bottom before you can get back up.
I'm going to throw his name out there. I think a lot of people already know. I think Cliff Ponte is going to be the next big name in Fall River.
Are you backing him? Is that what this is all about?
Are you out of your mind?
Okay, I hope not.
Why would I?
Said his name with a little too much enthusiasm.
Why would I? If I was to back anybody,
you just sounded like a commercial.
If I honestly was to back anyone comes out of the woodwork for mayor, if it was Mayoza, I think I would be able to be. I'd feel comfortable saying yes to Mayoza. I don't think Cliff Ponte would make a good mayor right now.
Not at all.
No. I don't think that any of the city councilors that we have right now, if they want to try to step in, including Rich Cabaceres, a former city councilor.
It actually might be a good time for Linda to jump back in.
Right. Oh, I think she will. I mean, I imagine she would. I want to see why not. I'm not too comfortable with her as a mayor either, to be honest. But it all could happen. It all could happen, and then we have to work with whoever's there. That's what happens.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yes. And no matter who it is.
You know how many times have you heard me say, I don't care who's in that seat, as long as they're doing what's best for the city of Fall River.
Right. Like I've said to you many times, I've seen Cliff Ponte melt down visibly in council meetings, especially the budget hearings. I've seen it, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, what is going on here? What the hell is going on here?
He couldn't even change something as simple as an ordinance that I pointed out to him. I will never vote for him for mayor.
I've seen Linda Pereira literally on both sides of an issue. Yeah. Depending on the tide of the population. Yeah. Never a true conviction on one, except unless it's something that benefits, situation. So we have we really, really, really have to remember that no matter who it is, especially if I'm in the situation and I'm running,
would love for
we have to work with whoever's there.
If she could, because there are times that I back things that she says, but then there are other times where I feel like she's folding just because of who our buddies are.
So I think that Mayoza would be the only one that I could vocally say, yes, I can support that guy.
Confidently vote.
Yes. Whereas with Linda, Cliff Ponte, all the names that are kind of come out of the woodwork, and also Kadeem, these people have the potential, I guess, but I just don't see it being the best situation.
You know, watch for somebody coming out of the school committee too to run for mayor.
Right. And there's a couple of people out there. I mean, it's a popular.
Lots of stuff going on
there's
over
some
there
popular
too.
folks. There's some popular folks in the Josh Hetzler, right? But then also, there is one name out there that I definitely would not support, and I would be vocally against it. Would be Rich Capisaris. I don't think he should be the mayor. I don't think he should be the city council. I don't think he should be involved in any political office whatsoever. That's just my opinion.
Oh, that's my opinion too.
And but as far as Mike Mayoza goes, I think he has the temperament for it. I think he is fair. He listens to people. I don't think he's going to make decisions that I don't agree with. I didn't even agree with all of the charter. You know what I'm saying?
But he makes decisions he thinks is
best.
for the greater good.
Right. He's not doing it for his personal gain.
Yeah, I give him that.
Right. He's not doing it for his personal gain. He's not doing it to screw somebody over. I think he does. I think he does try to do an honest job, and that's really what we need. We need somebody that's just going to try to do an honest job. So that's really like I just want more honesty in government. I don't know why I'm the bad guy to some people today.
You're awful.
Yeah, I've been the bad guy to a couple of people out there that support Jazel today, but I do agree with you. He's innocent until proven guilty. But it's an interesting story in Fall River right now. Everybody, you have to admit it. This is big. It's big. And I know if Derek was here, he'd say that's.
It's only big because they're making it. We've known.
A mayor gets arrested and a mayor gets indicted.
A few weeks before the midterm elections.
At any time of the day, in any time in any city, if a mayor gets indicted and arrested, it's big news, and it can't not be big news just because it's.
I can tell you right now that indictment, him getting arrested, actually helped me decide. I was having a really hard time deciding as far as who I was voting for some people. You actually said that he was Little Flanagan a few shows ago. Absolutely, but that doesn't change my innocent until proven guilty. True. That's my point. I can say he's Little Flanagan, that he's Little Willie is actually what I said. I called him Little Willie. Like, Baby Flanagan, I've called him that too. But it doesn't, we need to get back to innocent until proven guilty. I can't say one way or another. Next week, we're going to talk about there's a lot of things in there too. The ballot questions. Need to get discussed. People need to pay attention to this year's ballot questions. So the ballot questions are going to be talked about next week. We will talk about this. I'll do the necessary reading. Yes, Mike. Yeah. Hey, Mike's invited. We're going to get Jeffrey Goodrow in here. He hosted the show before. Yep. He didn't call in today. Did he call in? I don't think we got a missed call here. No, we didn't get a missed call. He didn't call in today, but he wanted to come on the show. I told him give us till next week because I know we want to talk about this topic for a while. And plus, I like to clean my apartment a little better when I have friends over the house. It's alright if it's just me. Well, it's not that bad here. I told you it smelled great when I walked in here today. It's because I cooked some tofu, delicious barbecue chicken tofu. Yeah, it was delicious. Barbecue tofu. Well, there was no chicken involved. It smelled like it was barbecue chicken. So. So anyway, we'll be talking about the ballot questions. We'll continue to talk about Jazel. I'm pretty sure more developments will come as we progress in this process. So maybe an FBI agent. Oh wait, I want to read that quote real quick. I want to read the quote. You can read whatever you want. We're also going to be visited by a stranger to the show. His name is Derek Morgado. Have you heard of him? I have not. Yes. There's a his name is also called the Scribe. It's the Scribe and also the Tornado. Oh yeah. So he will be coming to visit us. Harold Hank Shaw. Yes, and we're gonna end this from a poem from Harold Hank Shaw. FBI agent. We're gonna end this with a poem. These are words of wisdom. Yes. Okay. This was in a Washington Post article or a Boston Globe article, one of the two. It says, it's about Jazel's arrest. He says, today's arrest is a shock to many in the city, which has prided itself on a tradition of honest government, hard work, and public service. I had to, that's his quote. Hank Shaw from the FBI. It's a city that's prided itself on the tradition of honest government.
The tradition.
The tradition of honest government.
And now that tradition has been ruined.
Obliterated.
Yes.
By one Jazel Correa.
Yes.
This is what I mean.
This is the wax.
And this is
what
why
they call,
I can't take this seriously.
This is what they call wax poetic.
Yeah, that's why
That's
I can't
exactly
take it seriously.
All right, everyone, have a great week. We will be on next week. Y'all take care. Oh, I got a.
I'll have the FBI looking into me now.
I have a 20-year reunion next week. Ooh. At Durfee. It's gonna be at the Cove. I got a suit. That's what my suit's for.
That makes me feel great.